Before the city learned to speak, the tide was already talking. A fisherman stood where wood meets water, reading wrinkles in the sea. His palms held a net, mended and remended, a quiet map of lessons stitched with salt. The horizon whispered its silver rumors. He waited, because wisdom always lets the water speak first. He weighed the wind, the pull, the temper of the swell. Every throw is a question, every weight an answer that takes its time. He cast the net in a circle of faith, letting it fall like a conversation with depth. Some mornings give, some mornings only mirror your patience. The net sank singing a tune older than prayer. He drew the rope slow, each knot telling him how the night had gone. Small fish glittered, a modest music, honest, sufficient, enough for bread, for soup, for gratitude. He smiled the way labor smiles when it lands just right. He thanked the sea without words, both of them understood silence. Call it weathered arithmetic, when enough knocks open the door. Because more is a short word that grows teeth when hungry. Take what feeds the day, leave the sea a reason to forgive you tomorrow. Balance is the handshake between appetite and dawn. The gulls approve without applause. But behind him came voices from the pier. Farther out the schools are thicker. One bold throw and you'll be rich by noon. Greed always borrows wisdom's accent. He looked at his bucket, then at the wide promise glittering beyond. Desire is patient too. It waits until gratitude blinks, he told himself. Just one more cast for the family, for a safer winter. He threw heavier, wider. The rope burned his palms with ambition. The water answered with weight, so much weight it stopped feeling like fortune. Clouds rehearsed, closing, the wind turned teacher again. He pulled and the sea pulled back, reminding him who owned the word depth. Effort without proportion is a net that catches the man before the fish. The smell of salt turned sharp like warnings spoken through weather. Count not only what you catch, but what catches you. Profit without a ledger of risks is just a rumor told to fools. The line tightened, knuckles whitening. The sea refused to negotiate. He could cut the rope or be pulled into the promise. He chose breath over pride, shore over miracle. Silence placed its hand on his shoulders. He watched the net drift away, carrying almost could have if only. The small fish in his bucket clicked like humble clocks, marking enough. He sat beside them until his pulse found the rhythm of waves again. A man is measured by what he can leave unclaimed. He thought of others, men who chased the bigger catch, who returned with empty nets and louder excuses. He wondered if the sea grows tired of hearing ambition repeat itself. Somewhere between pride and hunger lives the quiet science of restraint. He closed his eyes and whispered thanks for the lesson that didn't need words. He mended another net, slower now, threads trembling but sure. Enough returned to mean enough, no longer an insult but a form of peace. He tasted the salt on his fingers and called it tuition. The sea watched quietly, pretending not to smile. Some victories are so soft they last longer than triumph. Night arrived without hurry. Stars spread like scales across the dark water, and the horizon blurred between forgiveness and memory. He could almost hear the sea breathing, a teacher resting after class. He hummed with it, two old souls keeping the same tempo. Consider your own net, debts, dreams, unfinished tenderness. Pebbles exist, minutes, pages, apologies, repetitions. You raise the water by raising yourself to meet it. Let small consistencies do what grand passions only promise. Faith is not hope for magic, it is loyalty to a method. Even patience has music when tuned by purpose. He drank from the bucket, salt, effort, and humility mixed into one flavor. Triumph brought no trumpets, only breath that didn't hurry. He saw his reflection blur, then sharpen, as if the sea itself were approving restraint. If tomorrow's another tide, he already knows the ritual. Choose a net, mend it, listen, wait. What you cannot reach today waits behind time, not distance. Let persistence be the art that teaches water to meet you halfway. As twilight spread copper over the waves, he walked home with dinner and dignity. His son met him on the path and asked, did the sea give much? He smiled enough to teach us not to ask that question. They carried silence together. It weighed less than greed and more than gold behind them. The tide kept whispering, rehearsing tomorrow's lesson in the language of patience.